From the Oklahoma newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Scott Wright, OSU beat writer. Scott, as it relates to running back news, Cowboys have got their most important news out of the way a couple weeks ago. Chuba Hubbard announcing he's coming back. And yet, building up that depth at the position was a real important step in this year's recruiting class. A couple guys that the Cowboys were after have decided, at least announced, that they're going elsewhere. They can't sign quite yet, but missed out on a couple guys that they seem to want.
Yeah, they did. It was a crucial part of their January recruiting heading into that February signing period, the late signing period now as it is. But Corey Wren, a sort of a Tyreek Hill type back with some really good speed. He chooses Florida State. Kavontre Bradford out of Lancaster, Texas, goes to LSU. The odd flip there being that Oklahoma State kept their running back. LSU lost theirs to the NFL, and maybe that swayed him one way or another. So, but those were two guys that were really talented backs that Oklahoma State had their eyes on. They have Zach Middleton in this class, being a guy that they feel is a running back at the next level. Even though he played a lot of different positions at Tulsa Bishop Kelly, they really like what he can do at running back. But still, it was a spot that they needed to add another guy, probably their most important focus of the January recruiting period.
Well, now the fact that they didn't get either of those guys to add to Middleton in this 2020 signing class, that I have to think they're looking to maybe sign a couple in the 21 class. Would that be sort of your suspicion?
Yeah, that seems like the case. You know, I'm sure that they're scouring the guys that are left at this point. Not a ton of unsigned running backs out there that are unsigned and uncommitted at this point. So the options of trying to score somebody else in the 2020 class, very slim. So yeah, when you look ahead to 2021. They're the leader in the clubhouse at this point for a 4-star running back by the name of Cameron Valdez, very talented player, and it's very possible that they could try to add an additional player if they are able to get Valdez. So that would be very important because you look ahead to 2020. You assume it's Chuba Hubbard's last year, even though he's only a junior. LD Brown is going to be a senior. Then you're getting really thin really quickly with a guy like Des Jackson behind him, DeAndre Glass still waiting to see if he's going to break through at the college level, and then Middleton coming in, and then it's walk-ons after that. So need to build up some depth to be prepared for what's ahead.
Lastly, you mentioned those guys that are already on campus. They do have guys at the running back position. I would think it would maybe even be, you talk about the 2021 class, but to get those guys in a position where they could maybe play at least a reserve role, you got to think you want to get those guys to be at a position to back somebody up. That seems to be a crucial piece of this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're looking at a guy, whether it's Des Jackson, DeAndre Glass, either one of those guys are potentially your starting running back in 2021. So you don't want to go into that season without having gotten him some legitimate experience, whichever guy it might be, maybe even both. So that's going to be a crucial element. You know, obviously Mike Gundy has talked about not wanting to use Chuba Hubbard as much as he did in the 2019 season, so that really opens the door for you to rotate him out a little bit more, get some of these other guys a little bit more acclimated to be prepared for what's ahead.
All right, we'll keep abreast of that situation. Obviously, signing day, that late signing day, coming up here in a couple of weeks, and so maybe the Cowboys find somebody, and we'll report it if they do. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at Oklahoman.com every day in the Oklahoman.